Okay, so at this point you have finished your 25 shapes practice sheet and you are ready to start on your city. I'm going to do this on a smaller piece of paper than what I've given you, and the reason I'm doing that is just to fit it on the screen. But the first thing you'll do is take out your ruler, you will lay it against the top edge of your paper, and you will draw a horizontal line that goes from edge to edge. Now I like to put this up about 3/4 of the way up the paper. Personal preference, there's no real reason for that, but just put a line in for your horizon line. Next thing I'm going to do is put in a vanishing point. I'm going to put that off to one side. I don't like to put that dead in the center. It just makes it look better, okay? The next step is to draw your 2 city blocks. I'm going to start out by drawing a line coming out at a diagonal from my vanishing point down towards the edge of the paper, but I'm not going to go all the way to the edge. I'm going to stop about 1 inch away from the edge of the paper at the bottom. And the next thing I'll do is I will make this look like an upside down letter V, and I will mimic that line. You can do it on this side or this side. I'm going to put it over here. So I'm just drawing another line mimicking the one that I just drew, and I'm stopping about 1 inch away from the bottom edge of the paper. Okay, so it makes an upside down letter V, kind of a triangle pointing towards that vanishing point. This is your road. This is 1 block. This is 2 blocks. So there's your 2 city blocks. Next thing you're going to do is take your ruler and you're going to lay it down against the opening of that V that you just created for your road. I'm going to hold the ruler in place. On one side of the V, I'm going to draw a horizontal line out and off the paper. And on the other side of that V, I'm going to draw a line out and off the paper. So it should look something like that. Okay, what that does, if you think about this as a roadway, I'm driving down the road, driving down the road, driving down the road, I come to a stop sign. I can go right or left. I can go this way, or I can go this way. This is another road. Okay? To make this look a little more realistic, sometimes I like to add sidewalks. And all I'm going to do to make a sidewalk is I'm going to add a double line here. I'm just going to draw another line that looks exactly the same, and I'm going to put it right next to it on this side, and I'm going to do it here. So it'll look something like this. So that's what one side looks like. And I'm going to try my hardest to make the other side look very similar to the width of this, just so that it doesn't look funky. And that's good. Okay, 1. And then the next one here. Okay, so now I have my sidewalks. And I can line these sidewalks to make them look like sidewalk blocks, just like you're used to seeing. On the lines that go toward the vanishing point and get skinnier as they go back, those lines will just be simple horizontal lines, and I do them both at the same time. So I do 1, okay, and it's better seen if I do it this way. And then I do the next block, and I do 1 here and 1 here, and then I slide it back, all the while keeping this ruler parallel to the bottom edge of my paper. Put 1 here, put 1 here. As I slide it back, notice the sidewalk gets skinnier. What that means is that the sidewalk is looking smaller as it goes back. So to make this look more realistic, as I go back, I'm going to start reducing the space in which I have between my sidewalk blocks. So by the time you get back here, your lines are going to be like right on top of each other like that. Okay? So let me do another few, and then I'll move to the next task. Notice I'm doing kind of a sloppy job here. I can always erase. Okay, they just get smaller and smaller and smaller as they get closer to the point. All right, the sidewalk blocks on these 2 parts are going to come from your vanishing point and be at an extreme slant. So the first one is going to be right in line with the sidewalk line. Okay, the next one I will swing it away and do a second one. swing it away, do a third one. I'm going to go all the way off the edge of the paper that way. I'm going to do this side exactly the same way. So I'm going to just do a few so you can see them happen, and then I will move on to the next portion of this. Okay, so it's a few. All right, so at this point, we're ready to start putting in 12 buildings. So I need to make those 12 buildings have several different heights, okay? The first one I'm going to start with, I'm going to sprout that up right here in the corner. I'm going to start by drawing from that corner a line that goes straight vertically in the corner. I'm going to turn this into a perfect rectangle, because that's all buildings really are, is rectangles or rectangular structures in basic form. So there is my first rectangle. Now, following the steps that we went over before, I'm going to do exactly the same thing. And those steps were, I'm going to draw a line to the vanishing point from each corner of my original shape, which my original shape is a rectangle, except for the corner that's going to cause me to draw through my shape. I'm going to ignore that one. So if I line up the first corner, oh look, I already have a line going to the first corner, so one of them's already done for me. Now I can do the second one. Oh, my ruler's a little too long, hold on. There we go. Line it up to the vanishing point. Okay, now I'm going to do this corner. Line it up with a vanishing point in the corner. Draw yourself a line. Okay. At this point, now I'm going to cut off my building. How wide do I want this building to appear? I'm going to put my ruler down here, slide it back and go, yeah, that's a good sized building. And I'm going to cut it off. Okay. Next step, put my ruler against the top edge of my building, keep it straight until it lines up with the corner of the line that I just drew. And then I'm going to draw another cutoff line straight across. Okay. Again, important that this line and this line are parallel to each other, and this line and this line are parallel to each other. Okay. Now I can erase the guidelines that I don't need. Okay. To put more buildings in other places, you're going to follow the same steps. Always start with a perfect rectangle. Say I want a building to be right next to this one, touching this building, no space in between. All I'm going to do is start out with my rectangle, because this back side of this building and the front side of this building are going to touch each other. So my front side of this building is going to be my perfect rectangle. And I like them to go up above the horizon line sometimes. I feel like it gives it some interest. So please make sure that yours does that too. It'll look a lot more realistic. You'll be happier with it. All right, so there's my perfect rectangle. Okay, now corners to the vanishing point. This corner, although I can't really see it, you can imagine that it's right about here. There's my rectangle. You can imagine that that's where it is. So my first corner would go to this vanishing point. This corner, don't do it because it's going to cause me to draw through stuff. This one might not, because it's going to cause me to draw downward, which is going to cause me to draw through. So then all I really have to do is this corner. So I'm going to line the two up, and draw myself a line, and now I'm going to put in my cutoff line. Line it up with the edge of the building, slide it back until we're happy with the width, cut it off. Okay? Now, you'll notice there's a lot of stuff I can kind of see through, which I don't want to be able to see. First of all, the horizon line needs to go, because I shouldn't be able to see the horizon line through a building that is not transparent. And I need to get rid of this guideline because I don't need that anymore. Okay? And that's what I'm left with. Oh, and I don't need this little doo-doo-doo that I made for you guys. I can do that. Okay. Say I want to put one here. It's going to go corner. I'm going to make myself a rectangle. Look what just happened. It ran right over top of the sidewalk that I just spent all that time on. Well, gonna have to erase it, I guess. This is why you're gonna need an eraser for this project. There's gonna be a lot of this happening. Okay, corners to the vanishing point, just like we did before, and I'm gonna do the quick version of this, just because this video is getting very long. Okay. Okay. Then I can put one next to it, not touching. Okay, so maybe it's going to go here. Okay, corners to the vanishing point. This corner actually would go up to the vanishing point too, because it's not drawing through the original shape. And then I just put in my cutoff lines. I can put a building right here if I want to, going off the page. Down to the vanishing point, cut off. I can put one here if I would like. Down to the vanishing point and cut off. Okay, so you can pretty much put these buildings wherever you want, but there's going to be some minor things that could happen to you that will make this slightly incorrect. And that's why for this project it's going to be very important for you to make sure that when we have progress checks, or when I want to see your work on this project, that I will actually be able to see it and see it well. Otherwise I won't be able to help you. Okay? You can definitely fit your 12 building minimum in here. And if I could do a time-lapse video right now, I would, and show you how to get 12 buildings. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, so I can put one here. So that's number 8. Number 9. Number 10. Let's see. I'm going to put one right here. It's number 11. And 12.